James Lynch here for Home of Fight, and I'm joined by Quentin Rampage Jackson, who's going to be one of the coaches for UFL 6. This Friday, he'll be opposite Henry Cejudo of Team Scottsdale. Vice TV and Rumble, that's where you can watch the event. Rampage, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. Like the shirt. Tell me how this all came together with you linking up with UFL. Really cool opportunity here to coach against Henry Cejudo.
Oh, yeah. I've been working with Harrison Rogers for a couple of years now, and he was telling me that he wanted to put together the team battle. And I remember those days back when I used to wrestle in high school, and I like that format, like we call them the dual meet, where you got to score points for the whole team to win. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. You just got to do the scoring right and make it exciting. That'll make it very exciting. And he was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. He came up with this whole format, and I was like, bro, sign me up, get me a team. I want a team. And I wanted to rep my city, where I'm from, Memphis, but he was like, no, man, you live in Orange County now. So bam, I came together with him, and we came up with pause. I kind of said that wrong. We didn't come together.
Oh, I know what you meant. It's all good. Don't worry. We're an all ages show here. It's all good over here at Home
Okay.
So no big deal.
I didn't want to get misquoted.
Oh no, you're all good. Don't worry about the. Yeah, see, now you're on the media side, so you know how that stuff works, right? With the misquoted stuff. So it's all good. But tell me a bit about coaching against Cejudo. What's your relationship with him? Does that add a bit more? Obviously, we know Cejudo is very competitive and likes to talk a little trash.
Right. I love Henry Cejudo. We're buds. Great friends. But he is very competitive, and nobody likes to lose, right? So I want my team to kick his team's ass. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Does it bring you back to the days a little bit of the Ultimate Fighter when you were coaching against Rashad? Like, kind of bringing that spirit out of you?
Oh, yeah. It brings it back. But, this is a little bit different because we're not all in the same house, smelling each other's breath all the time, right up next to each other and everything. So we don't have to work out in the same gym and everything. So this is a little bit more laid back format, but I love it. All the best.
Yeah. And any fights in particular you're looking forward to? Kyle Stewart going to be retiring. Obviously, he's on the other side there, the Arizona native. You got Hunter Azure, the UFC veteran. What are some names or some fights that are really piquing your interest here?
I'm really interested in seeing how Patrick Cornett is going to perform. I personally scouted him myself. He's a DJ. And he travels the world DJing like big events and stuff like that. So quite honestly, I want to see how he performs, because all of his fights so far has been very exciting. And Randall Wallace, in the main event, he got to go against Kyle Stewart, and I think my guy's tougher. I'm excited about those fights and a couple more fights on my team. I'm really excited about.
Now, whoever ends up winning this, as far as the team, is there any side bet going on with you and Cejudo, or is it just bragging rights?
No. If I win, him and Cejudo got dressed up like Eddie Monsters from the Monsters, and he said I gotta dress up like Gary Coleman and say, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Okay.
But I don't got no hair. I'm gonna do the Gary Coleman.
It's gonna be a little difficult. Yeah, maybe you got a wig or something.
Yeah. I don't got no hair. I don't know how we're gonna pull it off, man. And I disagree with her. I don't think I look anything like Gary Coleman.
I don't either. I'm with you on
Gary Goodrich. He could, I see that, but not Gary Coleman.
No, don't agree with that at all. So as far as this event, obviously coming up on Saturday, any plans for being involved with Friday? I meant to say, I'm getting my weekends mixed up here, obviously. But any plans like in the future for other events? Like what's sort of your landscape looking like with UFL going forward, or you just take it event to event?
Oh yeah. If I'm not mistaken, my team will fight again in Orange County. In the summer.
Cool.
I think it's August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think my team is going to fight against Rashad Evans' team in my hometown. Well, my city's hometown. Yeah. In August, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Excellent. Speaking of Rashad, is that fight getting rebooked? What's going on? Because I know you guys were supposed to box.
Yeah, that fight. Unfortunately, the promoters were shady, and that fight fell through. And we're looking at possibly getting in there. With another promoter, but it's all up in the air right now. So It's
Okay.
like I'm in like limbo right now with that. It's like one of those things. So I just been focusing on UFL 6. This kind of like bringing me out of my depression. I was kind of depressed about it a little bit because I put so much work in to train so hard, and I was looking forward to knocking Rashad out. You know, him and I are friends,
Mhm.
but you know, like that competitive spirit came back because he beat me one time, and I just wanted to beat the crap out of him for that. And I was real excited about it because I was training hard and I knew I was going to get him. I was going to get him in the third round. I already knew it.
It really seems like you've been rejuvenated in MMA over the last little bit with doing your podcast, the Jaxxon Podcast. What about that has really got your interest back? And because I know there's a period where we didn't hear from you much, and now we see you all the every time I'm on Instagram Rampage, I'm seeing a clip from the Jaxxon Podcast. How cool has that been?
I know, you know what, that's things that you don't think about. You know, I agreed to do a podcast. I had no idea that, you know, I didn't think about it. It didn't cross my mind that, well, you got to promote the podcast. And the guys over there at Jaxxon, you know, Bear Gigidio and the whole Jaxxon crew, the team, they do a great job with the media and posting the clips and everything. And that podcast has done a lot for me to get back interested in MMA because it was years I wasn't really watching it. I mean, I watch it when my buddies fought, but now I catch myself excited to see, you know, saying UFC's card and you know, so I can have some stuff to talk about. And I'm meeting a lot of fighters that I didn't meet, and I have to apologize to a lot of my comrades, like a lot of the new fighters that they've been in the UFC for 10 years, and I didn't know who they were because I wasn't watching them. And now, you know, I'm getting to know some of them and talking to them and hearing their story, and so it's gotten me back, you know, back to loving, you know, my favorite sport, MMA.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good. How did you and Bear initially link up to do the show? Like, tell me how that all came together.
Oh, I've been knowing Bear for years. You know, Bear was a pro paintballer, and him and his dad they own um, um, what's it called, a paintball park, Hollywood. I can't remember. I've been there several times, but
Okay.
um, yeah, Hollywood Park or something like that. And I met him there, and we've been friends. And he made me some shirts and stuff. And over the years, you know, we stayed in touch and stuff, and we've been friends. And then one day, he started working with this jewelry company named Jackson. He said, "Man, your name Jackson, and I'm working with this jewelry company. Come over here and do a podcast." And he gave me some jewelry and stuff like that. He did a podcast with me, and he said that podcast that he interviewed me, and he said it did great numbers. And he hit me up like a couple weeks later. Said, "Hey, man, you want to do a podcast with me?" And I was like, I said, "I don't know about that. Everybody got a podcast." He said, "Yeah, but everybody ain't Rampage Jackson." I'm like, "Well, you do have a point there." And so he said, let's just try it, see how it go. And he said, "We're gonna call it Fade on Sight." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I like that name." So we did a couple of episodes called it Fade on Sight. And then he said, "You know what, man, we just might as well call this podcast Jaxxon." I'm
Yeah.
like, "All right, whatever you want." And then I said, "All right, I'll give you a couple of months to see if I like it." And the camaraderie there, we just joke around and you guys don't even see all the other stuff we do. And then he started doing like behind the brand, so you guys could see all the stuff that goes on. And they just turn the camera on, and we just do the same stuff we do when the cameras are not around, and we just be having fun. And I like that, the camaraderie with the guys. We go there every day. It's like a gym in there. I can train for my fights or whatever, and we sit down and talk to MMA fighters, and it's just a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, and you can tell the fighters are comfortable. Like, it's a studio environment. It's not like this, right? It's a little bit more relaxed, and fighters that, you know, typically enjoy it. When was there a point you knew it was going to be a hit? Like, was it just, you know, whether people were talking about it? Like, when did you know this was something more than just a hobby? Because it's part of the news cycle now. I see it all the time.
I had no idea that it was going to be a hit and take off. But one time I was walking in Japan, hanging out, and two little white kids in Japan said Rampage, Rampage, and I was looking at them. They was too young to know me. I'm like, how y'all know I'm Rampage? And what the hell y'all white ass doing in Japan? They was like, "Oh, Jaxxon Podcast. We love your podcast." I'm like, "What?" And the podcast wasn't even a year old at this point. And then whenever I go out somewhere and people come up to me, "Oh, I love your podcast." Before that, people were like, "Oh, I love the A Team. Oh, I love your fight." But they were like, "No, I love your podcast. I love your podcast." I was like, "Man, this podcast really blowing up." And a lot of people was telling me, a lot of my friends like, yeah, man, I watch a podcast. It's a fun podcast. I was like, oh, what? It's good to hear that. So I feel good that that people are liking the podcast. That's always something positive. But no one's perfect. Like we've made mistakes and we've messed up with a few guests, and I've
You
had
handled
some.
it. Hey, listen, I'll give you full marks. So you came out right away and you handled it and you did your video. And that, I think that's what people want is transparency. And I think you did a great job with that. So, as someone who's, I know not like coming from a media background, I thought you did great job to just go out there and kind of squash everything. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Because no one's perfect and stuff, right? And to my defense, the day that we had Bryce Mitchell on, like I said, we was doing behind the brand. I showed up in my whole Saudi Arabia outfit. It looked like a sheik or something,
Yeah.
because I wanted to make fun of everything, make light of everything, and they were saying like that would probably even been worse because they was like, oh, Jewish and chic or whatever, all this different stuff. I'm like, bro, I just been looking for a excuse to wear this outfit, and I think this is perfect time. I want to see what he's going to say about how I'm dressed, and I think that would have been a totally different podcast. But it seems like that even that would have offended a lot of people. But I just hope that in the future we handle every situation correctly. But it's going to be times when I'm going to say something wrong, or they're going to say something wrong, or stuff happens. It's just one of those things. I just want the fans to know that we love everybody and we don't have no ill intent. It's just like like you said, we're not professional media people. We're just two guys that got a podcast and sit down and talk like we know what the hell we talking about.
I'm sure it's changed your view on the media too, because now that you're kind of part of it, like how things work, where like something's said or whatever, and it can go viral, or people are talking about it in the news cycle. Has your view on the media changed since doing the show?
Oh yeah, yeah. You just never know what would go viral. You just never know. You just got to be careful what you say every time, because like people can clip you and take your words out of context and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But me, I think you got to have thick skin, because so it happened to me a few times, and I'm like, I don't care. What they're gonna do? Kick my ass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, exactly. I don't think anyone's going to show up and give you a hard time. Hey, quickly, just last thing on the podcast. Do you have a dream guest? Is there someone you haven't interviewed yet that you'd love to get on the Jaxxon podcast?
We really want Chuck Norris on the podcast.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Okay.
That'd be amazing. I heard Chuck Norris is really cool.
Have you guys had GSP on yet or no?
No, we haven't had GSP on.
That would be a fun one too.
I asked GSP a long time ago before the podcast was doing the numbers that it was doing, and GSP is very busy and he lives in Canada, so he told me no in a very nice way and everything. And I don't like to bother my buddies. I've asked my buddy Nate Diaz and stuff like that, and Nate really don't like doing podcasts, and I understand. So when I hang out with Nate and stuff, whenever he comes to Orange County, we always have a good time, stuff like that. So I always figured that he would be a great guest, but he couldn't make it. My friend Barry, he reached out to Crow Cop, but we want everybody, bro. We want all the legends, but a lot of fighters from Pride and stuff, they live on other parts of the world and stuff like that. So it really don't make sense for them to come. But I gave Barry an idea, but I'm gonna run it by you. How about if we got like we made like a mobile studio?
I was gonna say, go on the road, bring it on the road, make it a mobile show.
Right.
That'd be fun. Do like a tour. Like you could go to certain places and then, make like, those old like rock shirts you'd get. It'd be like, you could do like the Rampage and Bear, the Jackson tour, and then have all the dates listed. It'd be like one of those rock t-shirts, right?
Right. That'd be great. But a lot of times my ideas go unheard.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm very nonchalant when it comes to stuff like that, because whether people know this about me or not, I have no ego. So if I throw out an idea and you say, no, I don't like that idea. Oh, okay. Kiss my black ass.
There you go. Quickly, does Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall happen in your opinion? Do you think they book it?
I think it's going to happen. Dana White knows what he's doing. I think the fans really want to see Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall fight, and that'd be the biggest heavyweight fight of the year. Everybody's waiting on them.
How do you rate Aspinall as a heavyweight? Some people feel like he hasn't fought the opposition, but I mean, I look at a guy that's got knockout power. He's got jiu-jitsu. He looks pretty complete. Like, how do you think he would have done against some of the greats back in the day? I think he would have done quite well.
I agree with you. I think Tom Aspinall is a great champion, is a great fighter. I think that he's going to be a future legend in his sport, and he's going to be around for, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. God willing, as long as he stay away from the injury monster. Yeah, I think he's going to be known as one of the greats.
Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. I think that's going to happen next for the middleweight title. Who wins that? Because it's a really fun fight between two really tough middleweights.
I have no idea who wins that fight. Both of those guys are great. They're both great fighters, and I just hope that they put on a great show. Who you got in them?
I think Chimaev can do it. We've seen, look, he took out Whitaker in the first round. I know DDP's no easy task. We've seen him defy the odds so many times, like with Adesanya, finishing him, first guy to submit Adesanya. I think, you know, I'll say this: if Chimaev wins, I think it'll be early. I think if it goes later, I think you got to favor DDP, right?
All right, yeah, that's a good take.
And last one, another big fight they're trying to put together, this Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria fight. Do you think that happens? Because that to me, other than Jones and Aspinall, is the biggest fight you can put together right now in the UFC.
Yeah, you know what? You bring up some good points. I agree with you. I've grown to be a big fan of Topuria. I love this guy's fighting style. I love his hands. You know, I don't care who this guy fights. You know, I think he always has a puncher's chance, and he's a dangerous man. He's a dangerous man. So I'm not surprised that people are not wanting to fight him. So that one might be a little bit tougher to put together.
Rampage, thanks for doing this. UFL 6 going down Friday, not Saturday, Friday. Vice TV and Rumble. Anything you got to mention before we get out of here? Anything you got coming up for Jaxxon? I'll give you the last word, my friend.
Oh, no, nothing. I just want everybody to tune in to UFL 6, Team OC versus Scottsdale, Rampage Jackson versus Henry Cejudo. And Henry Cejudo is going to get his ass kicked by my team. He's going to be embarrassed. And you don't want to miss embarrassing ass whooping going to Henry Cejudo. You don't want to miss that.